So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Should you buy the iPhone 15 or wait for the 16? We're right around 6 months here, and we're actually past that. We're going into the 7th month already with the iPhone 15, which has been a pretty good phone, actually. It really hasn't been a big problem to me, but some people are annoyed with a few features. But I want to talk about in this video if it's just worth keeping or picking up, or should you just wait at this point? Because a lot of rumors are swirling around 16 models. So let's begin with one of the most important areas of a smartphone, and that is the battery life. So the iPhone 15 has actually been a pretty good smartphone for battery. I wouldn't say it's touching iPhone 13 when it was brand new, but it's pretty close. It's not a very big difference. A big improvement over the iPhone 14. But if you want to wait, I think that might be a good idea, because I do feel like Apple's going to increase the size of the battery this year, as well as a display. They're probably going to extend this display out just a little bit, maybe by reducing the bezels. The actual size and footprint probably won't change massively, but they're probably going to find a way to reduce those bezels, which is going to give you a slightly larger display. We're also going to see more than likely a improvement in battery this year for sure, along with the AI features and the improved chipsets. If you want great battery right now, that's an improvement over the iPhone 15. Consider the iPhone 15 Plus. That phone right there is a much big improvement over this, but this is not bad whatsoever. So if you do want to buy this now, don't run away just because you think the battery's going to be terrible. It definitely isn't. It definitely makes it a full day. Now, in the area of camera, here's a couple of photos I took right here with the, well, not that one, a screenshot, but a couple of photos I took right here with the camera, and really good details, very good HDR footage, and even when you zoom in, it's not terrible. Of course, if you zoom really close, you can see the boulevards. I can't even make that out, because the iPhone 15 is not your best super long zoom camera. But overall, I would say the camera is probably still a go right now. You probably don't have to wait for the 16 on the camera. It's pretty good right now. Also, the front-facing camera is very good with these skin tones. You could see my skin tone came out very natural looking. Also, even some details in the distance do come out pretty well for this phone. The video quality is also pretty darn good, as you could see right here. That's a 4K 60 clip right there. It's also very good. But the most important thing about the camera here is not that it's good. We expect that from an iPhone. It's that they improve the zoom. They allow you to crop in, and I've talked about this before, but it really makes a massive difference to using the iPhone 15 versus the 13 models, because you don't have to feel like, well, I don't get any zoom compared to like the Pro models. You actually get pretty good zoom here, up to 10 times, which is about what the more premium models used to have, which was around 10 times zoom. So, but you see this dynamic island, the way we took that in the vertical sense, this is likely what's coming to the upcoming iPhone. This is likely what's coming to the upcoming iPhone 15 or 16 model in terms of the camera. They're likely going to reverse this back to a vertical setup, is what we're hearing in the rumors so far. We cannot guarantee that, because a lot of things are kept under wraps right now. But there's a chance we're going to a vertical format, and there's some specification and hardware reasons why that's going to happen. We'll talk about that later. But if you like the vertical look, you might want to consider, waiting it out if you don't like this diagonal looking camera setup for the 15. But the video quality is good. The camera quality is very good. In terms of design, should you buy this phone right now? And I think it's a really nice phone right now. Even with, upcoming phones, 16 coming, we have Galaxy S24, which feels kind of similar to this. It's just a smooth back. This actually feels smoother to hold than the S24. And you could see USB-C right there. Overall, it's got a nice matte textured glass back. It's a change from the previous models, which were glossy. Some people thought that looked more premium. I don't really care. This feels better. This is also super light, just kind of a sleek phone. You could see the cameras don't really protrude too much off the body. We have nice tactile buttons right here. But if you are looking for a capture button for your photography, like that, you probably might want to wait for a 16. That is a potential. But I would say design-wise, I wouldn't wait. I think we are going to see a reduction in bezels, but I think the bigger phones, like the Ultras and the larger iPhones, are going to get the bigger design changes, whereas this one's going to get another refinement, a polish. Now, in terms of the display, I would have to say No, I would wait on the display. I think they're going to improve the display this year, make it a little bit brighter. I'm really crossing my fingers for 120 hertz. Most rumors are saying it's not coming. Hopefully, though, we get a last minute decision change and we get a 90 or 120 hertz. I'm going to keep beating that broken record player until it starts playing. And what I mean by that is until Apple brings it. I'm going to keep talking about it in my reviews because I think even the base model people paying $800 for this phone deserve a 120 hertz display. We have Android phones at the $400 price point that have 120 hertz displays. So we need to see this iPhone make that a standard feature. It really isn't that serious anymore. It's not going to make people just go to this over the pros. So can we pay an extra $10 or whatever it costs in the display manufacturing and get ourselves a 120 hertz? I think people deserve it. That's why I would wait on the display. Also, the reduction in bezels is going to make the display look a lot more sleek. But if you need a phone now, I also don't think you'll be disappointed. It's just not very different from iPhone 14, iPhone 13, besides Dynamic Island. So if you do want to try the Dynamic Island, this is definitely a go right now. And if you want a really nice OLED, it's still a go. But we're already 7 months in, so expect some thinner bezels, expect some display upgrades here in September, just about 5 months away. So yeah, for me personally as a tech fan, I would wait on the display quality if that was my main reason of buying a phone, if your phone is fine right now. But at the same time, you won't be mad with this display, but you're not going to be blown away either. So if performance is the area that really matters to you, I wouldn't wait. I'd just go get this now. It's fine. You could see we do have an Apple A16 Bionic on here, which was found in the iPhone. It was found in the iPhone 14 Pro Max and Pro. So definitely these chips are really good. And in my speed test, even though this has a 90 hertz, it's still benchmarked better. Games tend to launch and perform better, even though you're dealing with a 60 hertz panel. The phone has rock solid performance. It's near MacBook level. It's near iPad level in terms of the performance, the true performance when you're really pushing it on like video renders and stuff like that. This really can shine, especially on things like LumaFusion. It's very smooth across the timelines. Overall, just a high-end chip in here. It's a high-end performance without 120 hertz. That's what it is. So I wouldn't wait for performance. Also, I think the iPhone 15 is going to get the AI features with iOS 18, so you're safe there as well if you were considering the performance. When it comes to the software, if this is an area that's really important to you, absolutely do not wait because Apple doesn't really change their software too much across the board, and the iPhone 15 is going to run essentially the same software as the iPhone 16. That's pretty much a guarantee. If you look at the history of the devices, of course, there's going to be a camera feature or one feature here and there that this doesn't have, the 16 has. But if history is a good indicator, we are going to see the exact same software. Also, with Samsung bringing AI features to their prior editions, I am almost 100% sure that Apple is going to bring the AI features to their iPhone 15 line as Samsung did it with their S23 line. So it's pretty much a guarantee. So I would not wait if like you just want to try the iOS software. That's the main thing. You're like, I just want to get on iOS. Go grab yourself a 15 model. You're going to be pretty happy. You make a lot of phone calls. You rely a lot on 5G service, Wi-Fi. This has Bluetooth 5.3. Has some of the latest Wi-Fi standards, although not as good as the Pro Max models. I wouldn't pick this one for the absolute best of reception in 5G. I think some of the Samsung phones have better 5G performance, and even I think the Pro Max has better connectivity strength and stuff like that to the top spec level. Also, I find this doesn't have the fastest internet performance on mobile connectivity, although it's still really good, and it definitely depends on your carrier. My carrier tends to do better on Samsung phones in my area, but it could change depending on what carrier you're using. It's not a deal breaker, but I do think there's better phones if this is the area that matters the most to you. It still has really good signal strength, but to me, there are phones that can go a little bit further underground and get better signal, a little bit more in those types. So you find yourself in those situations, that might be a decider for you. But anybody in like urban metropolitan areas with plenty of signal strength, this is not going to matter at all. I'm talking about those people who venture out a little bit and they need a little bit better. I do think that the 15 Pro Max has better strength in that area, as does like a S24 Ultra. How does this beat the competition? Does it beat the competition in any way? And do you want iOS at a reduced price point over a Pro model? That's literally the only reason to consider this phone. Okay, it's not the only reason. If you have a 13, you have a 12, you have an 11, those phones, you love them, you like the size, you don't want anything different, just a newer upgrade with a better battery so you can go another 3-4 years. This is a great upgrade for you as well. But it really, for someone who's just getting into the iPhone experience, what I like about this year is that the phone feels nearly like a pro iPhone, but at a reduced price. You do have to sacrifice the 120 hertz display though. So you got to dictate, you have to decide if that matters to you. Other than that, it doesn't really beat the competition in the camera. Like there's phones with better cameras, much like more zoom, much more versatility, but they don't have that iPhone video quality, so it wins there. And the colors this year to me were a little bit pastel. They're not like overly vivid. They don't pop out, but some people say, well, I don't care. I rock a case, so I don't care. I think a lot of people do care because, some of those older iPhones really pop, like the 10R, for example. At the end of the day, this phone has not been overly exciting to me, but it's been very good. So I've been kind of like happy with it, but I don't like get too excited when I use it. I'm just like, yeah, it's a polished, refined iPhone. It's peak. It's at its peak. What else can we do? So I think we need to see some major changes to the upcoming iPhones, maybe in the form of AI, reduced bezels, bigger screen. We need to see something very different because it's seeming to be the same too much times over. Click the like button for me if you liked it. Click the dislike if you disliked it. Give me your comments down below because we need to discuss this. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. And let me know what you think of the 4K 60. Should we continue it or not? I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.